Oh my god, that joint is sweet as a mug, man. Look, that's what I'll say, okay? I don't mind RNG, but I think the best type of RNG is the RNG that kind of makes it feel like you can play the game and get it without, I don't know how to describe it, because if you're looking for, you're gonna grind something, obviously, but makes it feel like at least it's incorporated into the world a little bit better, right? One of the reasons why I think people don't really like they didn't really like Dormant Splinter was when you saw those motherfuckers selling out at Void Seats. Like Void Seat was already the most lackluster content, and so you have motherfuckers who are like, and that was like the main way you got it. So you have motherfuckers feeling like they had to engage in something which already didn't have anything. But like with Vortex Echo, right? Layer 2's finished, right? Layer 2 is not the most fun thing ever. But it's like you have to do, there's like drops from different parts of layer 2. You know what I mean? At least it's like you can get knowledge as you're grinding out, trying to get the shits, right? You can get something that is useful to builds, or get something that you can see regular people at least doing eventually. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? There's at least a benefit of going out. Or like with things like the Dormant Splinter Mini Teresa, if motherfuckers are running around looking for an event, they're not really actively doing something, if that makes sense. They're just waiting for the spawn, which I think takes away from the experience overall. That's why I like Vortex Echo a lot, because it's like, ignore that. At least it's like, yes, it's RNG and there's a grind, right? But it's like how Enmity has like the mantle of Enmity. You're fighting a tough boss. At least when I'm fighting Enmity, I am fully engaged in the game, right? I'm fighting a tough ass boss with the homies sometimes, right? And when you get Mantle Enemy, it's like, yes, let's go. It feels super sweet because not only is it a rare drop, but the activity, the activity to get the rare drop is hella engaging. Do you see what I mean? Whereas like if you're just running around mini, or like even running on the depths, I don't know. I think only thing I'll say is that I'd rather if it was like, Hell mode gave like a much better chance. I know it was like a lot more common at mini apparently. I don't know. You could argue you could do Hell mode for it, but like, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I don't know. I personally like a little RNG, you know what I'm saying? But I think they should, I think like the best form is like a mix where you have like a quest that has RNG, sometimes like a, you know what I mean? Vortex Echo and Mantle is not comparable. In what way? They're both RNG drops. You both have to do a boss to get the drop. Both I'd say are pretty rare. Maybe Mantle's rare, but you need 3 drops from layer 2 to unlock to craft it. Unless you're talking about like the difficulties, sure, but they're pretty close. They're both relics. Both are from a boss, so you have to engage in a boss. And Vortex is like multiple drops. They spend a while getting Mantle. Is a Diver's Light Plate you can get doing from a single enmity isn't even rare. It is pretty fucking rare, man. I don't know who you've been doing it with, but you can ask people, and yeah, I'd say it's pretty rare. I don't know. I think Mantle has a higher what's it called? I think. Well, I don't know if they buffed it. No, I don't think they did. It's still unbankable too. So it's unbankable and it's a rare drop. You thought I was talking about the Bastion of Enmity, bruh? Come on, bruh. Lock in, bro. Lock in. No, I'm talking about. And also, that's actually another thing to add. Actually, I'll add that too to the previous thing I was saying. Is that like even when you're doing Enmity, you can get other things like relics and fucking like the Bastion, which is why I personally fuck with Enmity. If anything, I would just prefer if like, okay, so let me say 2 things, right? Because I think when I say like more bosses should be closer to Enmity, people I think don't. There are 2 things, the 2 main things I think people don't like about Enmity, right? Number 1, probably the biggest one, is the fact that you need to have a group of 5 to fight the motherfucker. You know what I mean, right? That will always rub certain people the wrong way because maybe they're in a region where they don't have a lot of people playing, right? Or maybe they are, you know what I'm saying, right? They just don't have friends. What I'm saying is what it is, right? On top of that, and there are a lot of people who are solo playing, but on top of that too, because it's also in the depths, right? If for whatever reason you have shit internet, or you're in a bad region, or you lag out, it's a deterrent, right? And so those are 2 things I'd want to point out real quick that I think it's not actually, in my opinion, part of Enmity, but it kind of is, because it's like you have to consider those things when you want to do him. But when I want more things to be like Enmity. I want more things to be mechanically challenging, right? I want more things to actually have something for me to grind for, right? In terms of mantle, other relics, just general shit. And those are probably the main two. The third one is arguable. I personally like a challenge where if I lose, I wipe. That's just me, but not everybody has, not everybody feels the same way. But the first two, right? If Maestro was a bit more tough, had a bit more like fake outs and feints, I think that'd be so tough. He just needs something. There's nothing to do at Maestro 4 though. Do you see what I mean? So that's why I hope these upcoming bosses that they're working on, I hope they fit that a little bit better. I don't think make shit rare for the sake of being rare. It's lazy and boring. Then what do you think things should be rare for? Why should something be rare in your opinion? Because like you can make that argument for a lot of stuff, but it's like if they want to make something rare, they want to make something rare. Can something only be rare if it has like god tier lore relevance? If it's literally like the King's Blade or whatever it's called, the Queen's Blade, is that the only thing that's allowed to be super rare? Otherwise, it's just rare for no reason, right? Like what about enchants initially? That was just rare for the sake of being rare, right? What should be rare then? Yeah, like should something be like I don't understand that. Something rare should have unique playstyles or gimmick, even though nothing should be too rare. I guess it's honestly at that point it's just personal opinion. Some people want some shit to be like, oh yeah. I think it's just like it's honestly I think a feeling of like what's it called? Like exclusivity. You want to be like, oh shit, yo, I got the exclusive item. It feels more personal when it's rare, right? And I think you know what I'll say as I think there was an entire game built around that. And that game was Type Soul, bro. Literally, like, I asked so many motherfuckers, why? Why did motherfuckers grind Bankai in Type Soul? And you know why? Because the grind and requirement was so high to get. When you got it, it felt satisfying, and it felt like it was exclusive. It felt like almost like a spec, right? And people really like that feeling. And you know what happened when they started making it more and more common, right? Yeah, I'd ask people, and they were like, well, I mean, yeah, it didn't feel the same, right? And so I think after they got that grind, there was two things. You had people who did the long grind, and then they reduced the Rex. And then you have people who played after the short grind, and then they're just playing with the Bankai. And I think it just didn't feel the same for a lot of people. Bankai was rewarding too, big power boost for that time sink. I think it's just like they played into it well. Now, would the game have been more successful if they kept it that high up? I don't know. There was a lot of people complaining, right? But it's like I think subconsciously it did play into like people saw the exclusivity, the power, all sort of stuff, and I think that part of that led to a lot of people grinding out. And it wasn't even like you had to do it wasn't like you had to obviously there was a high grind requirement, but like anybody could start grinding on it, if that makes sense, right? It wasn't like you were banned at it, you know what I mean? If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to go click on these other videos, man, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.